Hello, how are you doing? Today's live is about the role of the masculine. And when I say masculine, I mean the divine, healed masculine, not the wounded, toxic, distorted masculine. Okay? And most of people in the world actually are in their distorted templates. I've just been dealing with a distorted masculine right now, like literally half an hour ago, trying to match the energy and balance it down and neutralize it. So we are often surrounded by templates of distorted masculine energies. The person who I was talking to right now, or trying to quell the argument, was my toxic, distorted, unhealed, wounded father. So today's episode, today's live, is about the role of the divine masculine, the healed masculine. And when we talk about it, we'll understand it's quite fitting because I've just, like I said, was quelling an argument with my toxic father, where the patterns of toxicity and distortion of the masculine energy lie within our actual ancestry, our current situation, and how that's mirrored through our twin flame, and why they often behave in toxic ways, right? Our masculines. So, the definition. Do I like the word masculine and feminine? No, I actually don't, because it gets people stuck into these gender stereotypes. Okay, first of all, it gets you stuck into the sex organs, the sex, right? So if it's a physical male or a physical female, which is not how it correlates. It's also not the gender of how females behave or males behave. It's actually not according to that. Rather than using DM and DF, I prefer to use alpha, omega, positive, negative, but not with any judgment. It's just the electrons and protons. Yin yang is a very good one. Matrix, spiritual. But again, that presupposes judgment, that one is better than the other, which is not. 3D, 5D, also again, upper chakras, lower chakras, again. I think yin and yang is perhaps the one that is one of the most suited terms. But we use DM, DF because that's the most widely used term. We do live in a patriarchal society, which is heteronormative. So a male society, which is based upon heterosexuality, male and female. And that can kind of perpetuate more of the distinctions and distortions, actually, of the barriers of patriarchy and suppression and dominance over females. So, yeah. And it's also not the sexual position in bed. It's not to do with who's, because you have some DMs who are female and they are in heterosexual straight relationships with males. So obviously they will be the receiving end during their intimacy and interactions. So it's not to do with your sexual positions, it's not to do with your sex organs, and it's not to do with your gender. And I prefer to use the term yin and yang, more so, actually. Before we get into divine masculine, divine feminine, and the role of the masculine, let's quickly talk about the difference between twin flames, soulmates, and karmics. Because some of you on here think that twin flames and karmics are the same thing, or you can't tell the difference. And if that's the case, maybe you're not in a twin flame connection, because you will always know if it's a twin flame. The signs, the synchronicities, the dreams, the telepathy, the higher self visitations, the ascension, the looking younger, the getting spiritual gifts, the not being able to hate them for long, and the ego deaths, dark nights of soul, the healings that happen. It's not like soulmates and being in alignment, like seeing 111 and that's it, you're a twin flame. Because a lot of people think they're twin flames and they're not. It's very rare, actually. So with a karmic, they will come in and out. They'll weave as well, but they will always take from you and destroy you. Whereas with a twin flame, they may come in and out. They'll know exactly where to trigger you, but you will always heal and ascend. You'll always up-level that thought and ascend and rise. And you'll look younger. You'll get more abundant. You'll get into your divine templates. And you will get into your purpose and your power and your mission and get closer to God. The twin flame journey will align you directly with God and help you to get into your most godly goddess energy. Other ways in which you'll know about the difference between those is when you have intimacy with your twin flame. It is Kundalini. Obviously, the Kundalini rises. It can happen without intimacy too. You can get a Kundalini if you're not a twin flame. You can get it from a guru, like the Shakti Pack Live I did, or you can get it through spontaneous individual Kundalini. And that can happen also if you're in a relationship with a soulmate or a karmic. You can get your own individual Kundalini too. Now with a twin flame, the Kundalini happens either simultaneously or slightly after. And yes, in twin flame relationships, there's triggering, running, and chasing. Now, in soulmate relationships, you have that too, and with a high level soulmate. However, like I said, with a twin flame, you do have those ego deaths where you feel like you're shedding layers of your karma. You are ascending. You get into your godly template everywhere you go. You'll be stared at. People want to get to know you. You'll trigger people or they'll be inspired by you. You will ascend. You will become so light and angelic. You will become into your purpose, your power, your abundance. Okay? And your twin flame, you won't be able to hate them for long and you won't be able to forget them. Years and years later, the love will keep growing and getting deeper and you'll start to understand them and you'll have soul merge and become one individual. You won't have hatred and toxicity within you. It will be broken out from you with the triggers. The universe will break all the toxicity and drain you out from it. And then you'll understand that everything your twin does is within you and why they do it and that you are one. You'll have the dreams, the telepathy, the higher self visitations when you see their 5D version following you around. You'll see your spirit babies. There's so much I can continue on with. There is heaven and hell difference between a twin flame and a karmic. And if you haven't had all the spiritual outer body experiences, you're most likely in a karmic situation. If you're not ascending, if you're not getting to your abundance and your mission, if you're fixated on the person as opposed to the actual purpose of twin flames, which is becoming ascended master, ascending, coming closer to God and the divine, then you're stuck in the 3D versions of what is a twin flame connection, and you're probably in a karmic situation. Okay. So like I said, I started off this live. I said it's quite fitting that almost half an hour ago I was quelling, which means squashing, an argument with my toxic, distorted, unhealed father, who's a masculine, and most people on earth are distorted, okay, including twins initially. Lifetimes of separation from source, all the debris, all the karma has made that you get distorted. You're not in your divine template, you're not healed, okay? So a distorted masculine will be egotistical, angry, aggressive, violent, could be also very narcissistic tendencies. We'll talk about that too. It comes up in this reading that I'm going to do today. I have talked about twin flames being narcissistic because they have narcissistic tendencies that they are healing, but they don't stay in narcissism. Okay. A toxic masculine also will not respect the feminine energy. And feminine energy does not mean she's a female, sex organ wise or gender, just the energy. Will not respect, will dominate, will try to control, will go for war and aggression to dominate and to have power. Very lower chakra, distorted energy. But a divine masculine energy is more about protection, love, and caring, and will listen, will be diplomatic, will be the good leader, the good king, not the dictator. Okay, right, good. And you both are working as a team. Divine masculine, divine feminine are both working as a team. The DM's purpose is to trigger the divine feminine in the beginning. Keep triggering. So there's a divine feminine. The DM keeps triggering. And the DF's purpose is to alchemize, and ascend that energy. Alchemize that energy, okay? Alchemize those distortions to divinity. And the divine masculine will show you humanity's ills, all of the worst of society, so that you can heal it within, so you can alchemize it, because you've got that humanity's templates, the toxicities of the karma and the ancestry all within you, and you're just removing it. So that's where it can seem a little bit like the karmic partner, the toxicity, the narcissism. However, you always ascend, you go up. You don't get depleted, you don't get depressed to the floor, you rise up. The beginning, the first year is horrific, but you go up. This is going to be a really good live, by the way, so just bear with me. I'm just going through the bare foundational bits and it will get more interesting. Okay. The divine masculines don't give a shit what others think. And they do whatever they feel they have to, and they show it in a very open way. And when they first meet you after the bubble phase, they get completely triggered. Their ego does not want to heal. It's bringing up all past lifetimes of karma. And they are feeling really, really, really suffocated and addicted as well, addicted energy, and they want to get away from that. It's uncomfortable. So they actually keep it all within. Whereas the divine feminine is like communicating and letting it out, pouring outwards. It explodes. The divine feminine energy goes outwards. Whereas the divine masculine energy is all in and implodes. It goes all the way in and like a bomb inside. So they're just basically destroying themselves. And that's the post that I did today. And other people saying, oh, the divine feminine destroys herself too. No. The divine masculine actually destroys himself because they feel unworthy. They don't feel good enough for the divine feminine. They feel disgusting and gross and unworthy and not the right match, not divine enough. So they destroy themselves completely by going completely blindly into all the toxicity that they used to do, but more of it, shedding all the layers of their karma and ancestry. And once they do that, that's how their ego gets destroyed. Then they have nothing left. They literally have, like, my twin crucified himself on the cross. There's nothing left. It's all gone. They've given everything up. And then they're just all broken on the floor. And then their ego's not involved. And that's when they come back. They usually rise again. That's from the ashes that they rise into their divinity and they return. Whereas the divine feminine energy explodes outwards. And she doesn't destroy herself. It's the divine masculine's triggering that destroys the divine feminine. Divine feminine's ego. It doesn't destroy you, it destroys the ego. The divine masculine destroys his own ego, sacrifices himself, destroys his own ego, and that actually triggers the divine feminine's ego and destroys that. She rises, then he rises afterwards. Okay, but they will rise after they've done this destruction. Okay, the divine masculine energy is the protector. They are the archangel. They carry the sword of Archangel Michael to protect you. And the divine feminine is the safe space in which they can reside. Okay, so you're the diamond and they are the guard of the diamond. And it's not a normal relationship. You can't put a soulmate label on it. This is about ascension, about shedding all layers of toxicity. And it's way more wonderful and beautiful than just a relationship. Okay? The divine masculine lives the life they think they ought to, whether it's listening to society, to their parents, obligation, but also what is the distorted masculine templates in the world right now, which is to do with power, dominance, sex, ego, safety, showing off. They mimic and mirror that, but they don't fit into it because it's not what they're designed for. They don't actually fit into it. And then when they destroy themselves, they completely exit the matrix version of that and heal it into the divine version and then re-enter it. Okay, this is a good one. So listen up to this. Okay, the divine feminine energy is atomic, like an atomic bomb. Yeah, because she's exploding, right? And the divine masculine must anchor this energy into the 3D. That's a lot of energy that you have to anchor. This is divine cosmic energy that you're bringing into a physical realm in the 3D. So the divine masculines have to basically root themselves and anchor themselves and ground themselves really strongly in the 3D, have a lot of power in order to be able to anchor this energy on Earth. So imagine it as an atomic bomb or imagine it as lightning. So they're trying to grab the lightning as it's coming down and anchor it into ground. Now, that's a lot of energy for them to do. And that's why sometimes they weave in and out and they fail. They keep failing until they can actually sustain and anchor your energy and bring it into the earth. And I'll talk about that when I read stuff in a moment. But in order to help them, we don't dim our light, but often we have to protect ourselves and we have to either cover or shield our energy, not only from work and family people, but also from the divine masculine. And I'll do a live in the future about how union looks like. Until the divine masculine has fully learned how to cement your energy into the 3D, you may have to veil yourself, like the Jedi Knight or the veiled bride. Shield yourself when you're around them so they don't get the full blast of your atomic energy. They get a drip feed of your energy, drip, drip, drip. And that's why in one of the lives, I think it was last week, I talked about when I did about the mistakes I've done, writing them long texts, long emails, having arguments and being very, very powerful in your energy with your divine masculine is not useful. They cannot handle it in the beginning until you're fully in union for a year or so. Then they've anchored it. They know how to deal with it. They're powerful enough. Oftentimes in the beginning, they're very immature, distorted and childish. So they have to learn to grow up. So they do fail often, and that's why you have the weaving. And you need to allow aeration, time and space for them to be able to basically get that energy so they can anchor your energy onto earth. So you need to give them time and space. And sometimes you may want time and space from them too, and you want to have like a bit of space, and that's okay. It's not a problem, because this is not a soulmate thing, okay? This is about energy dynamics, about balancing energy, clearing energy, and anchoring it on earth. Okay, the last thing, which is very, very important before I go into the actual text, okay? So why do divine feminines do the inner work, and then we'll talk about what the outer work is of the masculine. We'll talk about that. That's the main of this live. So the importance of the divine feminine doing the inner work, they're the leaders, right, in the energetic world. They provide the template and the programming, or the vision and the idea that is sent to the DM, who cements it in the 3D. So let me give you an example. Say the DF is a computer, and you've written your Word document, and you've got it all written down, the idea, your pictures, your tables, everything's there. And now you're sending your Word document from your PC, from your laptop, to the printer to print out. The divine feminine is the laptop and the templates and the Word document. The divine masculine is the printer and the ink and the paper that's going to come out. So you as the divine feminine, you go within, do your inner work, put all the codes in, put all the visions, what's supposed to be happening, and then you put it into the printer to print. And then the divine masculine telepathically, energetically feels that energy, understands it, and then they operate and they print it out like a 3D printer or a normal printer. That's why, for example, if your divine masculine is not behaving in the way you want them to behave, you have the idea of the vision in your mind, and you cement it and you hold it, and it automatically gets sent to them. Yeah, so to do with boundaries, or the way they're behaving, or when you have intimacy with them, when you have sex, you can do a prayer beforehand, get the vision in your mind of how you want them to be, have it in your mind. Physically, when you're with them, it gets transferred, and then they embody it, because they're just a hologram, they're just a reflection. It's all about you sending the message here to them, and they do it physically. Does that make sense? I mean, it's a very interesting concept. I came up with that. Okay, so let's go into it. So the role of the masculine. So I've done a lot of foundational stuff. If you've just joined, please watch it from the beginning. So I'm going to talk about how the DMs create union and how they pull this connection into the 3D. And this is adapted from the work of Natural Mystic from YouTube. On Friday, when I did the Valentine's Live, I talked about Soul Gardener on YouTube. And someone kept saying, I can't find them on Instagram. Well, I didn't say Instagram, did I? I said YouTube. So Natural Mystic, she only works on YouTube. Some of these people are only on certain platforms. So please listen before asking, right? Okay, so Natural Mystic is an Australian, amazing divine feminine in union. She's been on the journey for like 25 years or so. Fantastic work. I've asked to interview. She's very busy. She does mainly sort of animation stuff, and then she doesn't come on the video, but she talks, and it's very useful information. So she says, this is adapted from her work, okay? So I'm using it, but I've changed it a little bit. So there isn't much information about the role and purpose of the masculine within the twin flame connection. The divine feminine is labeled as the spiritual twin and the leader of the connection, while the divine masculine is called the matrix twin. The masculine is often seen to have no real purpose based on these descriptions, and at times they're even labeled as narcissists. Now, I have labeled them as narcissists, but like I said, they all of us have aspects of narcissism, ego within us, and they just reflect and mirror our own inner narcissism for us to heal it, okay? And they don't stay narcissists forever. Because some of you say, oh, he's got bipolar, borderline personality disorder, he's got this, he's got that, he's got that. It all heals once you heal it, okay? So don't worry about that. So Natural Mystic felt that this view was unbalanced and disempowering. And if you've just heard what I've just said about what you do and what they do and how they bring the energy into the 3D, you'll realize that the divine masculine does have a lot of purpose. Actually, for Natural Mystic, she thinks divine masculine is the purpose, they're the main event. She talks about them being the sun and the divine feminine just being the moon, and the divine masculine actually being the main event on this journey, believe it or not, okay? So it's quite empowering for them. So Natural Mystic felt this view was unbalanced and disempowering, not only to the divine masculine, but also to twin flames as a whole. Twin flames are one soul, and balance is essential for harmony in this connection. This spiritual connection is ultimately about balance and fairness, merging both masculine and feminine energies in every way at all levels. Yeah, so we all harbor masculine and feminine templates within us. And the divine masculine is just a mirror of your inner divine masculine. All right, so it's about bringing the soul back into alignment with its original state, complete harmony, merging energetically and physically. Both energetic union and physical union are necessary to complete the process of harmonization. So the divine feminine does it energetically, sends the document to the printer, and the divine masculine prints it out physically. We are merging the spiritual with the physical on all levels, as above, so below, as within, so without. The story plays out everywhere, but especially through human beings, as we are created in the image of the divine, which embodies both masculine and feminine energies. Over time, we have developed a healthier, more balanced understanding of the masculine role in the twin flame connection. Previously, awakening masculines had little information about their purpose and often was demonized rather than welcomed. Now we have a clear picture of their role energetically and physically. So what is the role of the divine masculine in twin flame union? Energetically, the divine masculine dominates in the 3 lower chakras and have the role of grounding and pulling the connection into the 3D, printing it out like the printer into the 3D. That's why I refer to them as the grounded, physical, or 3D twin. So imagine an architect is drawing the designs, they send it over to the builders who design the building. The divine feminine is the architect, divine masculine is the builder in the physical. The divine feminine, on the other hand, dominates in the 3 upper chakras and creates energetic union through purging, healing, and balancing both the masculine and feminine energies within. So we do the inner work, purging, healing, getting it into in alignment within, and they have to do it physically. And it's a lot. The physical realm is very dense. It takes longer. It takes a lot of energy to be able to harbor that atomic energy on Earth. So the divine feminine's role includes throat chakra, which is communication, expressing the spiritual nature of the connection inwardly and outwardly. That's why divine feminines have no issue talking about twin flames, following twin flames. You know, if you talk about twin flames, you get a lot of obsessive energy following that, you know, so we're very communicative. The divine masculine is completely silent. Remember the meme I put where the masculine's putting sellotape on his mouth? Okay. Third eye, intuition. Seeing beyond the physical reality, having faith and creating inner peace. So having all the visions, the dreams, the synchronicities, the signs, all the telepathy, etc. Crown chakra, understanding, achieving deep spiritual fulfillment, power, and expanded consciousness. So understanding complete the divine nature of this connection, connecting with source. Once the feminine achieves a degree of inner union, the masculine begins attempting to create physical union. So last time we had a question about, oh, I've healed, I'm in union, where is he? So you've done your work and you've sent it to the printer. And to get it printed, it doesn't happen like within instant, right? It takes a couple of seconds or so. So the divine masculine takes a bit of time they've got the information and they're going to print it out. It takes some time, okay? However, they may not be strong enough initially to maintain it in the 3D for long periods. That's why you have your weaving. Over time, as they undergo their own healing and balancing, they become a stable pillar of masculine energy. So how does the divine masculine create physical union? Masculines use the energy of the lower 3 chakras to ground the connection into the physical world. So you've got the root chakra, which is survival. The masculine provides physical safety and ensures that the feminine's material needs are met. This includes offering protection, providing food, shelter, and creating a stable environment. If they feel unable to provide for the feminine, they may hold themselves back. So even the divine masculines who are in a female body, they've also said that they want to provide. They're very much about providing. Okay, so and if they don't have that yet, they may not come forwards until they have what it takes. Because ultimately, your role as a spiritual twin is going to be helping those people ascend, and they're going to be helping to create the environment for you to be able to do that. They're the container and you're the energy within. So they're going to be making sure it's stable, safe, there's money there, there's food on the table, and you can carry on doing your spiritual work. Hopefully you can earn money doing your spiritual work too. Right. Number 2, the sacral chakra, which is to do with sex. This is the primary way they merge with the feminine energetically and hold the connection in the 3D. Because y'all always saying, I feel sexual energy, he's too sexual. That's when the hieros gamos happens. That's when the light comes through. That's when your energy from the above gets pushed down to them because you're connected through their organs, right? So they're going to always want to sleep with you. And even once you're in union, the sex just gets more and more and more beautiful, intense, and loving. It's never going to die out like it does with soulmates. Okay, it's going to always be something, they're always going to be turned on by you, and they're always going to want that because they're actually craving the energy. They're creating the downloads, they're creating the connection with the divine that you've got in the upper chakras. They're getting it through you, plugging into you to get it from you. So they're going to always want that life force energy. Sex is a powerful creative act that bridges the physical and the spiritual. It allows the divine feminine to pull the masculine into the higher chakras, connecting them to the 5D. So they're pulling you down and you're pulling them up, especially during sex, okay? Orgasmic energy is particularly powerful in this process. That's where the tantric battery effect happens and all the things we've talked about with the Kundalini. So twin flames often experience high sexual energy due to the depth of their connection. Now that's both of you. The divine feminine also has high sexual energy even before they meet the twin flame. Now, obviously, when you're with them, you do feel it even more so, right? You get really turned on. But the divine masculine, obviously being the physical lower chakra twin, does have a lot of that high sex drive and sexual energy. And because they are more of the masculine template, they do mimic, like I said before, what they think a man should be. And in the world, it's distorted right now. So they are operating from distortion initially, which is to do with power, ego, sex, survival, and all that kind of stuff. They're obsessed with money and being liked and wanted and being physicalized, okay? Having a great body or just like having lots of partners or whatever it is. They operate in the physical, but then they alchemize that to being more divine. So physical intimacy is the strongest form of merging. But distant interactions such as messages or dreams can also be powerful because sometimes you have sexual dreams. Last night I had a very nice dream. It wasn't sexual. It was just, well, kind of like making out and stuff. But I saw my twin flame and looking great. And it was very romantic, very kind. It was at his work. It was beautiful. So you have those dreams as well. And you are attracted to them. However, in separation, caution is needed as imposters can mimic a twin's energy in dreams or telepathic encounters. And I think I talked about that. Was that in the Shakti Pack video where I talked about it? In one of the videos I talked about where you can have like the demonic spirits attack you and what you can do about that. Watch that live if you haven't, if you have the problems with this. The masculine's protective energy helps guard against such interference. And as you get more into union, they will be protecting you there as well. Because some of the divine feminines do get attacked in the astral realm sexually. There's sexual rape happens. We talked about this. We talked about how to heal that. And then power in the solar plexus chakra. Masculines use their determination and strength to move the connection forward through action, inspired action. Even if they fail, they keep persisting. Over time, the ability to hold the connection in the 3D strengthens. Okay. And then I'm going to talk about astrological cycles. So masculines are influenced by fire seasons, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. We've just had the Leo moon. So they really accelerate in those fiery seasons. These cycles charge them up with masculine energy, helping them to reach to a state where they can sustain that physical union. So in the Aries season, which is ruled by Mars, Aries is a warrior energy, giving the masculines powerful boost. Some twins may reach union during that time. Then you have the Leo season, which is ruled by the sun. It's the strongest time for masculine's empowerment. Unions take shape here as well. And then the Sagittarius season is also a fire sign. It's airy, wisdom-driven energy. By this time, the masculines should be more prepared to sustain 3D union. So Sagittarius is at the end of the year. Leo is more in the summer. And I think Aries is coming up in spring. So, and then not only the seasons, but you have the moons like Leo moon and whatever else. So they're getting blasted this year of energy to get them physically ready and powerful to be able to sustain your energy. So don't be blaming the masculines. You're too powerful, feminines, okay? If the masculine isn't ready in Aries season, Leo or Sagittarius season may be when they fully step into their role. By Sagittarius season this year, the end of this year, engagements and deeper commitments between twin flames could become more common. Okay, and now let's do some caveats for if you're a divine masculine in a feminine body. So if your divine masculine is in a female body, some aspects of the dynamic may shift. The drive to provide physical security, may manifest differently, but overall the energetic process remains the same. So just use your own discernment when you're understanding these energies in your connection. And some people say, they switch. You tend to stay in the polarity you're in, okay? You stay there. It just feels like with the running, maybe you feel like you're shifting, or when you start integrating your masculine aspects, you're actually merging them both together, Okay, so in conclusion, the role of the divine masculine is to anchor the connection in the 3D through survival, sex, and power. They need the power to be able to anchor it down. They use sex to be able to connect, and the survival is to provide for you. Okay, so that's why they act the way they do. They're actually geared up and prepared for the 3D world. They, throughout their whole entire lives, they've experienced a lot of knocks and arguments or fights or whatever. They've worked in the 3D world. They have kinks in their armor, and they're able to like push people away and protect. They're naturally made that way, and they've been geared up that way. So don't worry, they love doing that. And you have to make way in your life to allow them to do that for you as well. So when I said when you shield or you protect your energy, when you veil yourself like a bride, for instance, you're staying in your softness and power, but giving them slowly that energy. Allow them to have a space to protect you. Do you remember when I did ibogaine? I was very scared, and I messaged my twin saying, please pray. No, I said, pray for me. And he did. They like that. They like to see your vulnerability, and they like to see where they can stand next to you. Okay. So the divine feminine initiates energetic union through communication, intuition, and understanding. So you're going to be communicating and with others, using your intuition and understanding your divine masculine, whereas they do it through survival, sex, and power. Both roles are essential for twin flame harmonization, merging, and union in the spiritual and physical realities. Over time, as both counterparts evolved, true union becomes not only possible, but inevitable. So that was an extract adapted from Natural Mystic from YouTube. Not Instagram, not TikTok, she's only on YouTube. She's on Facebook as well, actually. So hopefully that made a lot of sense for you about they have a very pivotal role. Their role is the physical. And if you go away with anything from this live, you are the laptop sending the document to the printer, and they are the printer printing it out into the physical. You are the brains, they are the power, the physical. So that's why the divine feminine must always do the inner work, so that you're giving the right information and feeding it to them, and then they operate and carry that out. Okay, so you're the headquarters, and they are the people out in the field doing the work. So the way they behave will be according to what signals you're sending to them. Yeah, so it's almost like they are the drone out, and you're the remote control, and you're controlling and sending them the information, like go left, go right. So the way in which they're behaving is always mirroring what signal you are unconsciously giving. So when you're saying, oh, they're behind and they're toxic or whatever, it means you are not sending the right signals. There's stuff within you that is not aligned. But that's it. The role of the divine masculine. I hope that makes sense for you. Natural Mystic says they are the main event. They are the sun. And we are just the people in the background, actually. We're in the back office doing all the work, and they're out there doing all the physical stuff. So we should applaud them. We should be very grateful. They wait for us to give them the information and feed it to them energetically like a computer. And that's how it works. So hopefully that gives you the kick up the ass to be able to do your inner work and realize that they are working damn hard to be able to anchor the union in the physical. And if you have weaving, don't worry about it. Don't be at all freaked out about it. They're trying, and they will succeed because they want you. Get rid of all doubts and fears and go within. It's about ascension. It's about your awakening. It's about getting into divine templates. It's about healing all distortions and being in your power. And then you will get the romance, the divine love. I woke up after my dream just feeling so romanced today, so much in love and feeling great. And that's how you should feel, because that's what they want too. They want you just as much as you do. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a good week.